Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Chatting Pitch. I am Leslie, and here's my co-host.
Hi, I'm Matthew. Thank you very much for rejoining us. Or if this is your first episode, thank you for joining us. We are Chatting Pitch. As much as a lot of people believe we are here to talk about the state of football pitches nowadays, we are here to talk movies and TV shows. We like to pitch our own ideas to each other, and we chat about them, hence the name. Over to you, right. Leslie.
Yeah, well, the other day, somebody asked me, "Oh, you do podcasts, don't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." It was like, "What's
I
it
didn't
called?"
know you knew Jay Leno.
I still Conan O'Brien show. I hate Conan O'Brien.
Have you seen the little bit that Craig Ferguson used to do? With the Jay Leno fly. So they just play a sound of like, and he's like bang the table,
and it stops. That's very good, very good. No, the other day somebody asked me. They asked me, "Oh, you do podcasts, don't you?" It was Jay Leno, and they said, "Oh, what's it called?" And I said, "I was Chatting Pitch," and they said, "Oh, I guess it's a farming show, right?" And I'm like, "No, what makes you think that?" I was like, "Well, I have a handful of pitchforks in my garage."
Oh, okay, so that could be what the show's about.
Yeah, potentially.
Oh.
Chatting pitchforks. My one's very long and it has 3 prongs.
What has 3 prongs and doesn't give a damn? This farmer.
Okay. Well, this episode, in continuing our theme from last week of running out of ideas, and continuing a previous episode, I guess this isn't really running out of ideas because it is kind of topical, though, isn't it? Because last week we had the last episode, the season finale of The Boys, season 4. Me and Matthew have both caught up on it. And maybe, just maybe, we're going to talk about it. What do you think, Matthew?
I think that's a very good idea. We're also going to pitch our own idea for season 5, because who knows? Maybe they haven't written it yet. Maybe they want to. Because I mean, I think we're becoming more well known. Because I went to see Longlegs last night just to double check. Because I know that we did a movie pitch about kaijus with like really long legs and arms, and I was just making sure that Hollywood hadn't stolen our idea. Turns out they haven't.
Okay,
it's fine. It's all clear.
So that was. Are you saying that was what Longlegs was, or did you see a trailer of that one movie that we saw before watching Longlegs?
What do you mean?
So you said that Hollywood's been stealing our ideas with the.
Well, I was just checking that Hollywood wasn't stealing our idea for the long.
I'd like to imagine that you went. I'd like to imagine that you went and watched Longlegs, and every trailer in before Longlegs were movies about characters with long legs.
Deadpool, but he's got really long legs.
You know how every movie have trailers catered to that audience?
Yeah.
You watch a comedy movie and you get comedy trailers. You watch an action movie, you get action trailers.
Yeah.
Well, this way you had a movie trailers with long legs.
And all around me were just people going, "Yeah, this is why I come to the cinema. This is what I'm here for."
Long leg movies.
I'm finally being catered for. It's a whole genre.
Speaking of long legs, here's the jingle. Anyway, Matthew, we're back.
And long legs. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when you fall over? I don't know.
Very good. I like your mug that you're drinking out of. World's best dad.
Mate. Self-proclaimed world's best dad. World's best lad.
And my one says, nothing at all.
Have you got one of those that compliments you or congratulates you after each hour?
No, because do you know why? Because I know that I need to drink water. I don't need a reminder to tell me. I don't need I don't need like gratification every inch of water that I drink just to get me through it.
You're well on your way.
I mean, I think in a way those work for people who need motivation, right? Because there are some people who just forget to drink water, and that's fine because it's not your normal everyday thing to just, look after your body and stay alive.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I don't actually have anything in this mug.
You're like those. Have you ever watched any movie or any TV show?
Where there's a coffee cup.
Yeah, and there's nothing in it.
And there's that hollow sound when it's when it's a takeaway cup.
Well, they're just waving it around, and they're clearly
yeah, big gesticulating and
yeah. Like in Gone Girl, where every cup had Dunkin' Donuts on it.
Yeah, and no donuts in the cup. So
no donuts in any cups.
I can't remember if I've said this to you before, though. I would love one of those bottles with reminders, but if they're really sarcastic.
Right.
Oh, well done. Oh, good for you. Oh, halfway there. Great stuff. What, you idiot? Just drink the water.
You'd have to add that.
Just says at the bottom, what do you want, a medal?
Yeah. Is that sarcasm? Or is that like just being
I suppose
mean?
You'd have to make it a non-sarcastic ones, because then people could read it as, well done. You're doing really well.
Any bottle with those.
Yeah,
like,
maybe they are all sarcastic already.
Yeah, because everyone knows that sarcasm is lost. Like the tone of sarcasm is lost on text. Unless,
the person who came up with this bottle idea is sitting there, making loads of money, but he's thinking, they're thinking, oh man, no one actually gets it. I'm trying to be very sarcastic here.
So he makes one that's actually sarcastic, and then it gets marketed as the mean one.
Yes, there we go. It's a twist.
Yeah, and then he can never get his sarcasm through. So I guess that's the bottle section of the episode. And now we're going to move over to the review portion of the episode. Actually, there was one more thing I wanted to say about the whole water thing. I saw someone invent a cup that has a built-in alarm to it, and it reminds you, like, throughout the day.
Starts vibrating as you're drinking.
Well, it starts beeping, or like a very, very loud siren goes off, and it won't stop until you take a sip from the cup.
Man.
So it's like, in a way, that's kind of genius, because you have no other option. Like, that's the only way to turn off that sound, so you have to drink. But imagine that malfunctioning.
Yeah, or imagine just any number of bad times where that's going to go off. Yeah. A minute of silence for our fallen comrades. Drink your water.
Drink up to the bed, her.
It's H2O time.
Just all quotes from every water-related movie or TV show. Okay, so let's move on to the review portion. We're going to talk about The Boys Season 4.
We've talked about it before. Yeah.
What did you think of the rest of it, though? We only got up to episode 3 last time, and then we talked about Mr. Bean being in being in The Boys.
Yeah. Which works out perfectly.
Well, yeah, perfect. So, was it 8 episodes in total?
I think so.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We watched 5 more episodes since that last episode we recorded.
Leslie just did some simple subtraction, and I swear to God, I think he counted on his fingers.
I actually did. Do you know why? Because I can't count. I can't count in my head.
He's got a little thing. Every time he counts each finger, it says, well done. You're doing really well.
Do you know,
halfway there.
Did you know that every time I have to think of a letter, I have to do the alphabet song in my head from start to finish?
When you say what? When you say
if you tell me what comes after N or P, I have to do the alphabet song in my head quietly to myself. But then
so if someone asks you what comes after Y, I'll be staring into space there for a while.
XYZ.
R-S-T.
Did you just hear the end of it? XYZ. Z.
Or
Of
do you
course.
Z?
Or Z. You know,
Thank you,
potato.
mate. It's not
Everyone
the
said,
same.
yeah. Would you like some potato salad?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we watched 5 episodes of The Boys. And what a 5 episodes it was. I think it's safe to say the beginning of this episode is spoiler alert anyway. I'll be honest with you, Matthew. I've had mixed feelings about these episodes.
Yes,
What did you think?
I think depending on the episode, or for me, it's depending on the plot line. I don't know about you. Was it separate episodes for you? Was it the occasional episode that you didn't think was great? Or
I think it was separate episodes. Like sometimes it very, very much hit the mark, and I was like, "Wow, this is great television." And then there are other times where I was like, "Oh, this is television."
Oh, this is television, is it?
Yeah, and it cuts to me just staring at the TV, and there's just nothing playing. It's like, this is TV.
This is TV nowadays.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty. So, what did you think?
I thought it was good. Yes, I think similar to you, I think we're probably thinking the same episode in terms of the ones that maybe didn't quite
slapstick
hit the mark.
episode. Yeah.
The wacky slapstick. It was made for Mr. Bean, really. The wacky slapstick episode.
That one episode, I don't know which episode it was. Was it number 6 or something like that?
Around there, 5 or 6.
Around there, yeah. Yeah, it was just an odd episode, and it felt like it was played for laughs. And
you know what? I think it started off really well. It was a very simple. I think I wrote a review of this episode, and I said it's almost like it's deliberately, after all the I don't want to say convoluted, but potentially complicated plot lines of all the characters involved. It was quite nice to just have an episode that was, here's a house, and the boys have to break into it and plant some bugs. And it's just very, very simple premise for an episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, even when he first got locked up in that dungeon, and they started doing the tickling thing, that to me was amusing because it was quite innocent.
It was innocent, and it hadn't gotten. It almost felt like that was the beginning of the domino effect of the rest of the episode, because it was just like, oh, okay, it's kind of amusing, and then it just got progressively worse.
Yeah, but it didn't change the tone.
No,
it was like, okay,
until the very last second when Huey said, "I'm not okay." I'm like, oh, we're supposed to be taking this seriously now.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
let's shift gears.
The cake farts section was supposed to be dramatic for him.
But it was just, okay, they're tickling his feet and he's yelling like tarantula. And I thought, okay, that's kind of funny. Mm-hmm. And then the show was expecting it to be funny. And then it got into, okay, now Huey's going to have like essentially surgery on him without any anesthetic. And there's a guy who's going to say, okay, I'm going to
blank. I'm going to blank you.
I'm going to blank you in this hole that I'm going to make in your body. But the show was still like, isn't this wacky? Yeah. And I was sitting there going, no, it's not wacky. And
I found myself wincing in my sofa watching that, kind of thinking, this isn't entertaining. It's more just like for shock value, right?
Yeah.
But like shock value that was supposed to be intended for laughs.
Yeah.
Whereas, in American Pie, Stifler ate a piece of poo,
Yeah.
That's it's still kind of funny, but like,
no harm done. But even the not right at the end, but the ending to that sequence, I think was supposed to be quite cathartic, where you had his butler murdered Tech Knight, spoiler. And you had them like giving away loads of Tech Knight's money, and I think that was supposed to be cathartic. But I think after everything that came through, I think I was a bit, maybe like you, I was just sitting there sort of half in shock. Okay, and it was almost as if that final scene where Huey is saying, "I'm not okay." It was almost like, it was so strange. It was almost like the episode had this little asterisk. This stuff isn't supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's not how TV's made. It's not like they shoot the scenes in the order that they're going to appear in the episode, and then some writer went, actually, this is kind of serious. Maybe put a scene in. I don't know. It just seemed bizarre that the show simultaneously seemed to know that these played for laugh scenes weren't funny.
Do you think the first 90% of the episode was directed by Eli Roth, and then at the end they brought in somebody else that's like, can you do some damage control here, and then just directed like the final scene?
Yeah, we've got 45 seconds. Make it all okay. Go.
Push the button that make go do good.
Make Huey a poo.
Yeah, other than that one episode, like I think the rest of it was fine. Like I don't think I was, last week's episode, the finale. Obviously, spoiler alert. We already said this, but the ending didn't do anything for me when it was kind of like everybody had their own thing happening suddenly in a massive montage where it's like setting up for season 5, like this massive cliffhanger, and it just felt like everything was thrown at the wall at the very last minute. And maybe that was the point, but it didn't feel very impactful for me. And I don't know, how did you feel about that last 5-minute montage where like everything was just going to poo-poo?
I quite liked it. I guess we have different views on it then.
Did you?
I
didn't feel much.
I liked the fact that there was a lot. And I liked that they really did set it up as if, okay, they're all leaving, they're all going their separate ways.
Yeah.
And then you have those questions going through your head. Okay, where are Frenchie and Kimiko going to go? What's Butcher going to do next? And then all of a sudden you have to pivot quite wildly because all of these terrible things happen pretty much to everyone except Butcher. What do you think of his full, like, I'm just going to destroy everything turn? Because I quite
Butcher
liked
becoming like the bad guy.
I quite liked his run throughout the season of him being very conflicted and almost showing different shades of him that he's, because I think if you gave season 1 Butcher the options that he had in this season, I think season 1 Butcher would be very tempted to just go, okay, let's just commit all out genocide. Yeah. And what I liked about season 4 Butcher is that you can see that
he's got the angel and the devil on his shoulders, isn't he? Like the whole time he's conflicted.
Yeah, they do everything but stand on his shoulder.
Yeah. And did you see that twist coming? Like from a mile away, or were you surprised by that?
Well, problem was my wife mentioned that there was a lot of stuff online. She didn't watch The Boys, but she's a Jeffrey Dean Morgan fan, and she came across this stuff of people saying, people think it's essentially going to be a Fight Club thing.
And was that kind of like inadvertently spoiled for you then?
No, not really, because I enjoyed some of the way they did it anyway, and I think it's a twist that's been used so much before. Yeah, that I didn't really mind the twist element being spoiled.
I did find it quite funny when they did that Fight Club montage of him kind of like drinking by himself and like
playing ping pong,
playing ping pong by himself,
doing all these 2-player things.
Yeah. But yeah,
tandem bicycle, but in his leather jacket.
Yeah. The thing is, was he in a previous season, or was this his season debut? Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character.
I think it's his series debut.
Okay,
I have to double check. But
I feel like it was a bit of a strange decision to have such a big actor play just an imaginary guy, essentially. Right. I don't know. I just felt like maybe if we had seen a bit more of him, like in the previous season, that would have been a bigger payoff.
I think I definitely agree with you. I did not feel as much emotion when that twist came around. Oh, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's
He's
Jeffrey
a
Dean,
ghost.
he's been dead for 10 years.
For 10 minutes.
But yeah, it was. Yeah, he's been dead for 10 minutes. And when it was revealed, when they did the Fight Club twist, I just thought,
Right.
but I don't.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't really. It was like, oh, okay. I think that's what I didn't like about it. Not the idea on paper.
Yeah.
But the way that they revealed it at the end of the episode, it was a bit, I guess, a bit like how you feel about the ending to the last episode.
Sure. Like
I've
everything
just checked.
all at
Jeffrey
once.
Dean Morgan is in 9 episodes, which I guess means he's turned up in 1 episode before this season.
Oh, potentially.
Or does he show up at the end of season 3? Maybe I can't remember.
Maybe he does. I don't remember. It's been so long ago. Okay.
But I thought overall, I think we're focusing on negatives because I think there were a lot of positives.
There were a lot of positives.
I mean, my goodness, to say that it's a very prescient show would be an understatement. I mean, the fact that there's an assassination attempt on Trump, and then the week after that, there's an episode where one of us superpowered characters is going to shoot the president. I just think, okay, wow, it's almost reaching sort of, I think we've talked about it before, that level of where people always talk about, oh, the Simpsons predict everything.
Right.
I'm not saying that the boys predicted
but it was
sort of right-wing conspiracy nuts and all that, but
it was all shot and edited before that event happened anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's very much a product of its time. And
product of its time.
The product of its time. So, yeah, did you see that the creators of The Boys had to release a public statement about that? Because they said
it was not me.
Saying it wasn't me, yeah. And they got Shaggy to do it.
They're friends. They're best friends. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
Shaggy's actually going to turn up in the final season.
Right. There's been a lot of
does all these things.
There's been a lot of like crazy stuff happening like after the assassination attempt that happened with Trump. Like, did you hear about the whole Tenacious D thing that happened?
Yes.
You've got to be very careful about what you say, don't you? Because I don't know how I feel about that whole situation, because like there's a lot of people saying how Jack Black has kind of thrown Kyle under the bus with that, what was clearly supposed to be a joke.
Bit. Yeah. I think whether you agree that it was a funny joke or not, I feel it's a little bit overkill, maybe.
It's a little bit extreme to completely cancel the tour and potentially not. So if anyone's listening and they don't know what we're talking about, basically what happened was Kyle from Tenacious D, one half of the band, and the other half being Jack Black. It was his birthday on stage at some show, I think maybe either in America or Australia, but they brought out a birthday cake for Kyle, and then Kyle said, Jack said, make a wish.
They said, what? Make a wish. Yeah.
Make a wish.
Birthday
and
wish.
And then Kyle said, next time don't miss Trump. And the whole crowd erupted with laughter, and even Jack Black, he kind of nervously laughed. But I don't know if he was laughing at the joke or if he was laughing because he realized he has to do some damage control now. But he just went like, I love you, Cage. Just kind of went off. And they took the birthday cake away, and then I guess they finished the rest of the show. But someone had recorded that footage and posted it online. And then as a result, people were saying like they're inciting basically murder of the president. So as a result, the Jack Black released a statement and said the rest of the tour is cancelled now. I was blindsided by what Kyle said. And then Kyle released a statement that said, I made a lapse of judgment. I'm sorry that I did this, which has since been deleted now. So Jack Black's thing is up there for front and center. Carl's apology has been deleted, but probably you can still find it. The rest of the tour is cancelled, but Jack Black's still making Minecraft, the movie. So
okay, that's good.
There we go.
Meanwhile, Kyle's lost his agent, and
which is a real shame because like I really like Jack Black as like a performer and comedian and all that, but like this is almost like his Will Smith slaps Chris Rock.
Maybe, I guess, yeah.
Right. Because the potential future of Tenacious D is rocky now, and it might not even come back because Jack Black is he's way more famous than Kyle.
Yeah, and he's got all the other things going on, and
there's always been this whole ongoing joke where like Jack Black's more famous than Kyle, and then they even do it in some of their material where they released a music video where Kyle was like washed up, and then he brings them back, and they become friends again.
Okay.
They almost like lampoon on that. And there's always this like ongoing thing where Kyle quits the band and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people are actually hoping that this was a bit.
Oh, this is a big bit, yeah.
Yeah, and they'll release the song.
I really don't think it is. I think
Kyle quit the band, and now I'll throw him under the bus. Doesn't have an agent, no agent anymore. Screw you,
we still
Kyle.
get Minecraft
I'm gonna make
the
Super
movie.
Mario Brothers.
Rig-a-doo-doo. Yeah. Anyway, that's that topic.
But it's one of those things where like it's totally a grey area.
Yeah, it is.
I think both of us would agree that what Kyle said on stage was like not the right thing to say.
It's definitely not the right thing to say.
But the reaction has been like, "Whoa, okay,
yeah,
let's slow down a bit." Does he need his whole career destroyed, or does he just need to be told off? And
they're going to make a public statement at some point, like on camera, I reckon. And he's probably going to go on Loose Women. It's going to be Kyle with, what's the American equivalent of Loose Women? The View, right? With Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah,
he's going to go on The View, and then Trump's going to be on the other end, and then Kyle's going to apologize to Trump. And the rest is history. And then Trump's going to be president.
And Trump will just ramble for a bit.
Yeah.
About something. Have you seen the late, great Hannibal Lecter? Have you seen that bit?
No.
He's just doing a campaign speech, and he starts talking about the late, great Hannibal Lecter. What a guy. No one quite hits the spot like the late, great Longlegs. We love Longlegs, don't we, folks? Very athletic, very athletic. Not many people know this. He wasn't so good. He wasn't so good.
We're still doing
that famous Olympic event. Not sure if you saw it. I saw it. Lots of people saw it. The 250-meter dash. He's not very good at the bends. Too much pressure. Legs were too long. Too long, if you know what I mean. And he's just pushing with his hand like that. Too long. Yeah. Too long. You do that, you get people with long legs, extremely long legs. You get people with very short legs. People with short legs are good too. But we got to make our country better. Got to make lives better for our long legs. And then just the crowd cheers. Because it doesn't matter. Because he's paused. Woo! Whatever you just said.
Hey, I
love that cage rage.
I have no input because I, first of all, can't do a Donald Trump impression.
Neither can I, clearly.
Yeah, it's better than mine.
It's all the hands. Just pretend you're playing an accordion.
Well, yeah, there's visual gag. Everyone can see.
So not great for a podcast, but no, you're doing too small. You're doing like you're doing sewing. You got to do playing an accordion. Playing an accordion, or like trying to push a piano on wheels.
Here's my impression of Donald Trump. Bing bong, bing bong boom.
Leslie's waving his arms.
Yeah.
Who's the guy who likes to play? It's me.
Have you ever seen Jamie Foxx's impression?
Bing bong's pretty good. Bing bong's pretty good, but he got forgotten. Got forgotten at the bottom of that hole.
Who does the best Donald Trump? Because there's a few impressionists out there.
There's a few.
So Jamie Foxx does it, but I think Jamie Foxx thinks he's better than he is with his impression. In my opinion. Okay. I think he can do it, but I think he hams it up a little bit.
Okay.
I don't.
What's his name? Dana Carvey's got a pretty good one.
He does a good Trump.
Yeah.
Okay. I think there's one more. Oh yeah, Alec Baldwin did Trump before, but I think that was more of a visual one.
He's very good at the face, the lips.
Yeah, he's good at the face. He's
Now
also
got
someone
his own
who's like
problems, of course.
he's got a bit of controversy as well for him, isn't he? He recently got released from that whole thing about that shoot.
Yes.
Remember what happened with him?
Yeah, it was a mistrial, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah.
I don't really know too much, so I don't. Yeah. Won't talk about
Speaking of
that
mistrials, let's move on to the next segment, where we pitch the episode that comes out after the last episode. What character is that? You give it a
name. Herbert, Friendly Turtle.
It's Jay Leno on ice.
Jay, just try standing on two legs. I can't. All
right. Oh no, we don't. You know what we haven't done? We haven't done our rating system for Boys season 4.
Okay, what would you give it?
I think I'd give it a chatting. I reckon, I think Boys is a very solid show, but I think this one was, for me, a little bit of a letdown. It had some great moments, but it wasn't as good as other seasons. So I think I'm going to give it a chatting pie.
Interesting. Yeah, I think downsides, that episode we talked about. Some of the early stuff with Frenchie and Kimiko, I was a bit like, well, I don't really care about this stuff.
It kind of came and went, didn't it?
Well, upsides, I do think the series turned that around, and I did actually start to care what happened to Frenchie and Kimiko. Yeah. Almost to the point where I was more interested in that than the rest. I quite liked Butcher's ending in the final episode, and unlike you, I quite liked that final montage. Sorry, when what?
I said spoiler alert, he becomes an octopus.
Yeah,
basically.
A mega octopus.
Yeah. And then
with a Cockney accent.
Yeah. Oi, oi. Did you like that video I sent you the other day?
I did.
Oi, 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 oi. Homelander gonna nick my bloody son. I think your favorite one was oi, 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 oi. Blah, 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 blah. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I sent Matthew a little video of someone doing a Homelander impression, and it's very uncanny.
Who was it? It was someone doing...
I don't know.
Someone doing Billy Butcher impressions, but they'd also illustrated it. It was quite funny.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Have you heard, Huey? He puts milk in his tea first. He puts the milk in with the tea bag, and then he pours the water in.
You gotta be more gravelly than that.
Yeah, I can't do gravelly.
No.
My Billy Butcher would sound like this.
Oh, by the way, speaking of
let's kill
voices,
them all.
Did you notice that voice you just did was what's his name? What's Homelander's son's name?
You have this theory, don't you?
I have this theory. Because
actor,
did you watch him in the last episode?
Go on.
In the last episode, his voice was his voice was fully cracked. It was his voice suited how he looked.
Right.
But I think what happened was they can't just go from him sounding like a boy in season 3 to suddenly sounding like a prepubescent boy, with his voice completely cracked. They have to ease him in. So they AI'd his voice from being like Mickey Mouse at the beginning to at the end sounding a little bit more, I don't know, just a teenager, I guess.
Yeah.
But did you notice his voice was just fully? It was
a teenage voice.
Am I the only one who's obsessing over this?
I didn't notice it, but then I don't. I don't have your ears, so.
All right. Well, there we go. Sorry, what would you give it? Would you say you'd give it a chatting...
I would agree with you. I'd say a chatting pie.
Chatting pie. There we go. You know what I did find quite funny? Every time Sister Sage got a lobotomy and just became dumb Sister Sage, I thought that was quite funny.
I liked it apart from in that episode that we didn't like. And I just
You
thought,
didn't like it when she was
this
eating
is
cake
too
and then
broad, and she's
was
just smothering cake all over herself. And
But that was one moment that I quite liked where Newman was looking over and then they were just nodding at each other and she was just like, what's going on? And she was with cake all over her face and Newman was
right.
double taking. I thought that was quite funny, but
I did quite like the bit. I don't know if it was in the final episode where the Deep and Black Noir both find out
that was
at the
the
same
penultimate
time
episode. Yeah.
Okay, they both find out that they've been like having a thing with Sister Sage.
Yeah.
Bro.
Bro.
But
what about that bit on the last episode where like Black Noir kills somebody and he looks down and it's like, oh, murder boner. And and it just cuts away and I just thought like that was very silly. That was a very silly joke.
Not exactly gratuitous.
He's
but,
become the new Deep, isn't he? Black Noir.
He's getting there, isn't he?
He's getting there.
It's a shame, actually, because I do like how the original Black Noir story ended. But it is a shame, because I always thought it was just quite an interesting presence to have someone in the room who
doesn't say anything.
And you're not fully aware of what they want. Because you can pretty much tell everything. You can tell what Homelander wants. You can tell what the Deep wants. You can tell all of their motivations. But then you just have this guy in the middle of the room who you're pretty sure could kill 90% of everyone in the room if he wanted to.
Yeah,
and he's just sat there, and you're thinking like, what's going on? What's going on in that little head?
I can't remember why, but like he starts seeing cartoons at some point.
Yes, yeah. It ends up a bit like. Do you ever see the show Happy?
No, but I have seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And,
okay, yeah.
And Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and
pretty much the same thing.
Any movie that has people interacting with cartoons. Looney Tunes Back in Action is another one.
Is that Brendan Fraser, right?
Brendan Fraser's like peak. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the peak of his career. All right, let's move on. Cue the jingle, the mid-break jingle, and we're going to talk about season 5. Hello there, I'm back.
And I am back also. We are both back.
I guess what we can do is just... I don't know. We could bloody crazy.
Exactly, Leslie. Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you.
What are we going to do? Like pitch? We know that season 5 is going to be the last season, so we could pitch it with that in mind. How is it going to end?
Okay. Well, I think... do we want to be serious about this, or do we want to just like let it go off the rails?
Let's just go with whatever.
Who cares? Who's listening?
Yeah.
You find people out there. You're listening. You out there.
Thank you very much. Just you.
Yeah, the singular you.
Who buys all our merchandise.
I think what should happen is we pick up where we left off at the end of season 4. And then right at the last very moment before the first episode comes out, everyone looks at what's happening in the news and then they quickly rewrite everything that happens. So
do you think that season 5 should be really shoddily produced because it's almost done like a sort of South Park sort of schedule?
Right, yeah. So everything has to be topical.
Where you're making and editing it like a week before it's about to go out. Because there's that panic. Got to make it relevant.
So I can expect this is probably not going to come out for another 2 years. So what do you think in the next 2 years is going to be? Well, Trump's going to be president again, probably. And they've finally cracked global warming.
And by that,
everyone's driving hydrogen
the Earth
cars.
is cracked in half.
And then that's literally the political divide now.
Yeah.
The Earth is cracked into 2, right?
Yeah.
There's the liberals, and then the others.
Conservative Republicans, and anyone in the middle just falls into lava because they can't make a decision. I just want to be an observer.
This show's become political, and you'd love to see it.
Yeah, let's move away from that.
So that's not going to happen. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, you said that you wanted it to take up immediately from where it left off, right?
Well, it should, really.
Well, here's another idea. It picks up
Okay.
1,000 years in the future, and
Everyone's dead.
Everyone's just a robot version of themselves, and then they just redo season 4.
Okay, great.
Bleep bloop bleep. I am Homelander. Bleep bloop. I have mummy issues. Bleep bloop bleep.
Bleep bloop bleep 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 bloop bleep. I tickle you with feather. What is your safe word? Bleep bloop bleep bloop bleep. Error.
1001. He said the safe word.
001.
Release his manacles.
I
am Robo Homelander. Allow me access to your motherboard. Sorry, go on.
I think what we should do from now is run with this bit and see where we go.
Okay, so it's
we don't look back.
It's 1,000 years in the future.
1,000 years in the future.
It picks up. Everyone's a robot version of themselves, and they have just switched on the butcher bot.
Okay.
The Octobot.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes out of his stasis chamber.
We got a new theme song.
Would you love?
No, it'll be like, whose cup of tea would you love? It's a lot more monotone and more robotic sounding.
There's like an engineer who's on an apprenticeship, so he's not that great, and he hits the vocal box a bit too hard.
I like to imagine everyone's got robot voices. So who else have we got? Okay, let's go through all the. Okay, this is robots. This is the boys' robots in disguise.
Oh, okay.
The boys. Sorry, we got Billy. So he's
I guess we could just get the guy who does. Do you ever see the animated BFG movie? What's that?
Yeah.
Over there. Just get him to do.
Yeah.
What's that smell?
Just put like a robot voice filter on him, so it makes it sound like "What's that?" And then we got all right. So we got Billy. We got Homelander. So Homelander's basically, he's a flying robot.
I think he'd be a very twitchy robot.
Yeah.
You know how the actor Anthony Starr just like gives him these like little vocal twitches.
Yeah.
Every time he's just like he's about to break. So I guess maybe he's a robot who's just he needs a software update, but he's not allowing anyone access to him.
Yeah. And his little radar
played by George Clooney with the little head wobble. I'm
George Clooney and Jay Leno hybrid. Just like so I can imagine he has like a little internal system. You know how Terminator has his kind of like scanning thing, and there's a little robot eye, but it's purely used to scan milk.
Yeah,
so that's his journey. He's just going everywhere just to try and find like nearest 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I am amazed they haven't done. I know it's obvious, but I'm amazed that it's been 4 seasons and they haven't done a meeting with him and Mother's Milk.
Oh, because the fact
and they
that
could bond, couldn't they?
Yeah. Isn't the reason why his name is Mother's Milk is in the original comics? It
was a giant breast. It was just a floating giant breast. You know how comic book writers and artists are. They're all weirdos.
All perverts and weird deviants,
Every single one of them.
Yeah, don't quote me on that.
And if you think this is libelous, you can take us to court with your giant breast money.
This is a family show.
The Chatting Pitch lawyer is asking us to cut that bit out.
Okay, sure.
Apparently, they're all world-class freaks and deviants. Apparently.
It's okay. Anything that's been silenced will be covered by our third co-host, The Fly.
Yeah.
Zap.
That was all me. A fly voice is not dissimilar to a robot voice.
That is true.
Just has to go a bit more monotone. That was not me.
So, who else have we got? We got
Starlight is made with really shiny metal.
Yeah,
ding 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 ding. Like you can see a bunch of lamps. Yeah.
It's like 10 lamps stitched together.
I think she's like those like the modern skyscrapers where the designers haven't really thought about it and they create a glass front that reflects the heat of the sun and just burns people that walk on the path in
is she
front of
the
it.
size of a skyscraper as well?
Yeah, sure, why not?
For some reason. Yeah.
Huey, I love you.
I can't believe you slept with that shapeshifter.
Huey's there like, she looked just like you.
Yeah.
Giant 30-foot Starlight.
Huey's also a robot. Everyone's a robot, right?
Yeah, everyone's a robot.
Okay. So what's Huey's robot? He's just
well, I feel like he could be the one original.
Just a big credit card because he's a big nepo baby. Just one big credit card, and he goes through.
He's just a calculator. Hey, Huey.
Have you heard about him talking about him being a nepo baby?
No. Well, as in the character.
No, not the character. Like Jack Quaid himself. Like he. He recently publicly said that, I'm fully aware that I was married. I was born into this industry, but I can't do anything about it. I could just keep acting or.
Yeah, that's a tough bit, I guess.
Yeah. But
and also like people will deride so-called nepo babies, but man, if I was in that position, I would take it for all it's worth.
Yeah, that's right. And to be fair, I think Jack Quaid is actually quite a good actor. I don't think there's nothing wrong with him at all. And
that's why I think he could play a calculator.
Beep boop 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 beep. I love you, Start.
How are you doing, Huey? Just comes up. Right. Comes up with a little. What?
Imagine the dialogue in this show. Oi, Huey.
Cost, tan, sin. Just comes across the
It's like that little spell master from Toy Story.
Starlight,
I love
left
you,
me.
Starlight.
Don't step on me. Yeah.
Don't be a brrr. Every time he has to censor himself, he just makes like.
Oh, you mean Butcher can't say the words. Yeah.
It just makes a massive grinding noise.
And he gets an electric shock.
Yeah. Oi, Huey, stop being a Who else has got Mother's Milk? He's just a big old...
And it's a fax machine attached to Butcher that makes the noise.
Because fax machines still exist. 1,000...
Yeah, why not?
Repurposed fax machines. Well, I'm getting lightheaded now after
doing that. So who's Mother's Milk?
Just give me a second. I was seeing spots.
So from doing Butcher impressions.
That impression of robot Billy Butcher.
Takes it out of you. So Mother's Milk in the comic books, he was a giant breast. In the TV show, he's a giant man. So I suppose he could be the other giant robot when Starlight turns evil.
Mm-hmm.
Or when the Starlight... Not the clone. When the Starlight impersonator returns as a robot.
Yeah.
Man, I'm mixing myself up here in my head. I just want a giant robot battle.
Okay.
So who else could be giant?
Who else could be giant? Who else we got? We got Frenchie. He wouldn't be giant.
Well, I'm thinking who would fight Starlight and Mother's Milk?
As giant robots.
As a giant robot. Because you got the Deep, but he's just a speedboat.
What about the Deep and Black Noir? They fuse together because they're becoming bros, right?
Okay.
And then they end up like a Power Ranger.
1,000 years in the future, Vought International has perfected bro technology. Brufos, go! And as they morph into a giant robot, you just hear like bro.
I am Black Deep, and he goes on a massive rampage. Yeah,
and his feet are speedboats, so every time he goes on land, he falls over.
What's better, Black Deep or Deep Noir?
Oh, Deep Noir.
Deep Noir.
Yeah.
I am Deep Noir, bro. And his hands start like spinning 1,000 miles an hour.
and then giant robot battle with those three.
Yeah. What will their powers be? Like he would be like spewing water out, but it would be like black water.
He's got like water cannons.
Yeah.
But it's all dirty water, isn't it?
It's all dirty water. Yeah.
Germs.
Mm.
So he's like, this won't defeat you now, but in a few days you're gonna feel pretty ill.
Make sure you drink plenty of fluid.
You're almost there. Well done.
Oh, it's a great callback. Thank you. Oh, that gave me a good chuckle.
I suppose Mother's Milk doesn't have superpowers, so he is just like a really heavily built robot who just smashes stuff.
Right.
And then you've got Starlight, who's able to reflect the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose they're recreating the powers, not actually having the powers.
Yeah, yeah. So what about Frenchie and Kimiko? They're robots too. So what would their robots be?
Well, could Kimiko be the one who's still the original Kimiko? Because in a way, she's immortal, isn't she, really?
Okay, so Frenchie's now the robot, but he's like a mobile suit type robot, and Kimiko's the one driving Frenchie.
Oh, yeah, it's a great idea.
He's inside
and he morphs
Frenchie.
into different things. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a tag team type thing.
Sort of like a French Knight Rider.
Yes, that's it. And then I guess
Bonsoir, mon ami.
Bonsoir, mon ami. Monker. Into the distance. With the Knight Rider theme song. Yeah. Great stuff.
I'm a cop from the future.
I want all this happening
and
at the same time.
I'm great at my job.
But yeah, does Kimiko still talk? Because at the end we had a little bit of a teaser of season 4 where Kimiko was able to say a line, right? But is she be able to talk now, or is she still mute?
Well, I think if we're intentionally
leaning towards the robot thing, maybe she's got one of those like "hello," those voice boxes where she could like speak.
But then, if everyone's a robot, could she be the only human voice?
I guess she
is the voice of reason. She is the voice of reason after being silent for 4 seasons. Deep.
Yeah. Finally, she gets to do her acting chops with her actual voice.
Yeah.
Fun fact: she's actually a voice actor, so she does a lot of voice work.
That's very funny. Yeah. That's like I know you haven't seen The Bear, but it features lots of cameos from actual real life famous chefs.
Oh yeah.
But, there's a guy in there who's in almost every episode who is also a world-class chef, but he refused to play a chef. He just plays a handyman. So you've got all these actors around him playing chefs, and he's just like, can I just change this light bulb? It's a very good show. If you haven't seen it.
I think I watched the first episode and I thought like, man, this felt like having a panic attack for 20 minutes. And I'm going to leave the rest of it for later. And I just never got back to it. But I've been told it's very good. Some people say season 3 isn't as strong as season 1 and 2, but still good.
Still good, yeah. But anyway, back to
the bear robot would be
just
a bunch of chefs just like morphed into one,
morphing together.
So that's for another episode.
You've got a giant palette knife. I will scoop you.
Who else have we got that we haven't turned into a robot yet? Who else was in the Firecracker's still around?
I think what's her face? Who's the one who's the CEO of Vought?
Ashley.
Ashley,
yeah.
But she plays a robot.
At the end of season 4, she does the little thing, right? But we're talking about 1,000 years in the future, so that's completely irrelevant.
Oh yeah. She's brought back to Earth. She is she's a robot, but she's kind of like who's the robot from Power Rangers? Who's like always helping him out?
Ay, I'm Alpha.
Yeah. So she's sort of like that. Obviously not with that.
Get me 5 boys with attitude who are also robots. Sorry. So I have an idea for. What character did we just say? Ashley. I have an idea for what my robot would be, but let me hear what your idea is, and then I'll pitch you my idea.
What, for Ashley?
For Ashley's robot, yeah.
Oh, that was pretty much the extent of my idea, that she was just a tiny robot.
Alpha. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I thought maybe because, for the longest time, it's always been known that she doesn't have any hair. She's like lost all her hair,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what if her robot is just a big hair robot?
Oh, she's the only robot with hair.
She's the only robot with hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's her power.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And she can get stuff.
I need conditioner. And just walks straight into a super drug or boots.
Or just walks onto a pathway for a car wash. Her feet get locked in and she just gets taken in and she's like washing her hair.
Yeah. And
then halfway through, Homelander calls her and is like, Ashley, you have to get me this new milk. And she's like, I'm locked in. I can't get out because I'm stuck in a car wash.
I'm currently in the car wash. Anyway,
that's why she gets demoted from Alpha to Beta, because that is what Homelander would call her.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You are such a beta.
Cuck, whatever that means.
Yeah, whatever that means. Soy boy.
Soy boy. Yeah. You are nothing but a soy. You are nothing but a soy robot. No, Homelander, don't say that to me. You don't mean it.
I think that about does it. I think that's the. And then how does it end?
Sister Sage is a giant supercomputer that gets launched into space as part of her grand plan to go to the moon.
And then she pushes a button that makes every computer software in the world break down, and then nothing works anymore.
Revert back to Windows 95.
Kind of like what happened last week. Topical. Boom.
Yes,
Mic
topical.
drop.
Boom. Got to edit and release that episode quickly. So that people can not download it because their computer doesn't work.
Yeah. And then Sister Sage
I guess she gets launched into space.
Into space, yeah. And she's like, I'm the smartest robot in the world. She's just a brain at this point, just a big brain.
This has been my plan all along. And then it just cuts to her on like a lunar theme park. Like, whoa.
You
These
idiots.
loops are the best.
These loops are the best. One more time. And then there's like that guy on the flight.
When Deep and Black Noir got caught in that bro loop.
Some guy's holding up a sign that says "Scream" if you want to go around one more time. Yes, one more time. Credits roll.
Spurt oil if you want to go again.
Yeah. And at the end, Sister Sage will return in
in
Gen D, the robots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess that's it.
Show. Yeah, that's it.
I loved it. I like it. I gotta have it. Man.
And so can you if you like and subscribe to all of
don't
the
be silly. Don't do the outro. We've already got that pre-recorded.
Okay.
I just
need to make sure
that's for the other
people...
robots to take over.
I need people to make sure that they know that I still love them.
Oh, yeah. You out there, the singular man or woman or robot.
Oh, yeah. What if AI is the only thing? There was that theory. I think you told me about this actually last week. The theory that a huge percentage of the internet is just bots.
Yeah, the dead internet theory.
So we need to do more episodes like this to cater to the bots.
Exactly.
Because we're going to find the amount of listeners we have for this episode. It's going to shoot up.
Do you ever think one day this episode that we're recording will be on some...
will be the basis for an entire robo-culture?
Chatting Pitch has been brought to you by Leslie Way and Matthew D. Smith. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to listen to others and maybe even subscribe. You can follow us on the website, formerly known as Twitter.
Listen to us on Spotify or wherever else you listen to podcasts. Leslie and Matthew have their own side hustles as well. Feel free to check out Leslie's YouTube channel or Matthew's Medium blog. Links in the description. If you want anything else, we might have other links in the description if we think of anything interesting to add. Thank you for listening. I love you.